Hi, I'm Scott Cameron from QSound, giving you some tips on how to prepare to record an audiobook and why you should record an audiobook with Reeve Publishing. Managing your own production of an audiobook. This is an interesting question. If you were going to record an audiobook yourself, I'd say there's a few things that you need. One, you need a DAW. It's a digital audio workstation, which is software to record it. You really need a good area to record it in, and that's the most important thing. So when you're talking, if it sounds like you're talking in a bathroom, that's very distracting and probably won't get past Amazon and Audible and those things. The other thing you need is a very good quality microphone and a good quality interface. If you have all of those things, then you can give it a crack and see how it turns out. However, there are some, as I kind of touched on before, some very strict conditions that distributors like to put on audiobooks. iTunes, Audible, Scribd, all of those. And those conditions are things like in the mastering process. So where an engineer like myself comes in handy is we know all of these things. It's basically condensing the dynamic range. Now, dynamic range is something that if you're listening to material like a song, it's been heavily mastered so that it doesn't drop very quiet at certain sections and then blast you in other sections. So think about like a movie soundtrack when there's some old movies I'm sure you've all listened to where you're turning up to hear the dialogue and then there's an explosion and it pulls you off your seat, or you're watching a television show and the ads come on and they blow your head off. Well, basically what those conditions are is, the opposite of what's going on there. Is trying to make it so that that does not happen. And they're very strict. They're within a few decibels of each other. So, for audio we would have, with songs, a much more lenient approach to it, whereas with the audiobook it's between minus 23 dB and minus 18 dB, which is a very, very small window. So we have to use multiple compressors, multi-band compression and limiters to try to make sure that it stays within that area. And that's also two values here. They get you on RMS, which is the average value of the signal, as well as peak values of the signal. So we have to compress, as I said, with two different compressors. And then the trade-off that you get then is once you add these compressors on board, you've got this noise floor that comes up because inherently nothing's perfect. Your microphone has hiss. You may have had an air conditioner or something running in the background, which is why it's important to have a soundproof room. And once you compress the signal, when you're pulling the peaks down, all that noise comes up. So those are kind of the things why I say that it's important to have an engineer like myself who is used to dealing with these conditions. And we can tick off the boxes and make sure that the distributors are happy.